was selected to have a thin overlay, or low overlay thickness, and that is what we confirm here. In the video on test section 16012, as we noted before, this is a thin overlay of an old asphalt concrete pavement which was characterized to be of a heavy pavement structure, a high structural number. Another indication of the overlay thickness is that what looks like happened here on the overlay, and I haven't been able to review the plans of the overlay itself. I have the original plans to look at, but what appears they did is they shot the chip seal, or what they call here the G treatment, all the way across the lanes and the shoulder, and then came on top of that with the asphalt concrete. And that, you can see that it is a consistent thickness here, over here where it drops off about a foot off the edge of the lane. Beginning of the test section, looking upstream, you see a bridge up here. Well, this is the third bridge north of the Black Warrior River. Again, we're in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. This test section, we're on Interstate 59 and Interstate 20, which are co-located right here. Moving it along in a clockwise direction, you can see that we are on a fill throughout this entire area. In fact, most of this project is in a fill. What they did is, over in Tuscaloosa proper, when they were putting this in, they built most of it in a cut section. They removed a lot of that material and brought it out here as a fill. What that did is allowed them to easily get under the city streets and roadways which were there in the city of Tuscaloosa. So looking down off the embankment, though, you see very consistent in terms of the height of the fill. You can get a better feel for that. We're in a flat grade here, we're in a tangent section. Plenty of sight distance, should be a very easy and safe section to use as a test section for the general pavement studies. The candidate project selection data forms indicated that the original pavement was built in 1972 and the overlay placed in 1984. Now, we've got quite a bit of distress in this roadway, and some of it is highlighted here at the very beginning of the test section. Step back and get a look at it. You can see my comb down here. You can see how wide the crack is in the pavement. Now, I'm going to focus in on this and try to show something. This crack is reflected up through the original pavement. So, and you can see how it's spalled. We're in the wheel path. It's a longitudinal crack. And you can see where it's got spall places along there. I'm going to indicate this due to the width of it as a high severity longitudinal crack. When you get up in here and you can see where some of the longitudinal and the transverse cracks cross, and we have some moderate severity or high severity alligator cracking just in some sporadic locations throughout here. Rutting doesn't appear to be more than a half an inch anywhere along here, but you can follow that crack along there in the outside wheel path, as you can see on the film. I've still got it in the zoom mode looking down the test section. Let me go ahead and back off of it so I can begin the walking video survey. Walking along here, I haven't filled out the distress survey forms yet. I'll come back and pick those up on my last sweep up this test section. However, you can see what I've already noted before from the beginning of the test section. Some most part this would be characterized as moderate severity longitudinal cracking going particularly down the outside wheel path. We also see some towards the inside wheel path coming up on station 1 here, and it continues, although it lessens somewhat in severity, mostly to low severity in this area. One thing of note here that I'll try to show, since this distress isn't in the lane, I really can't count it here, but you see these cracks, these transverse cracks in the shoulder. You can see where some of them are starting to move towards the interior of the roadway, and in some cases they have worked their way onto the lane. Where they have, I'll note them. Where they have not, I will not note them as transverse cracks. Okay, we've lost some of the cracking in the wheel path on the outside. It's very intermittent in this area. In some places we have it. Quite a bit of it is not cracked right in this area. But as we walk along, you can see where we pick it up again. And here's an example of one of these transverse cracks which have moved on out into the lane from the shoulder. Just looking at the surface treated shoulder, you can see transverse cracking at fairly regular intervals, particularly in this area and in back of it. As I mentioned before, though, most